All right, we're gonna continue on the Star Wars build today. I don't know how many parts this is gonna be, by the way. We keep adding to this, and we got some 3D printed parts we're trying to make, but we're having some, Phil's having some problems with the printing, and we're gonna be reaching out to Jetman, who is my Twitch mod and also a expert 3D printer, to kind of help us figure out what's happening there. But as you can see, I already got some primer coats on here to bring it up to the shade that we want it to be. And we're gonna see if we can't maybe get some greebles or something going on the corner of this. Corner of this? Somewhere on it. Build Redux creates PCs for gamers who want high frame rates without breaking the bank. Through Build Redux's website, easily configure your PC and see how it's optimized for PC gaming performance. It is Build Redux's goal to create the best gaming PC for any budget without cutting corners on the gaming quality and performance. Plus, it's backed by a 2-year parts and labor warranty, so you're covered. Pick your budget, pick your games, and get Build Redux. One thing that's worrying me a little bit is that this primer is staying slightly tacky. And I think part of that might be, and I don't mean tacky as in like, oh, that shirt looks tacky. I mean, it's got a little bit of a stick to it. It did get cold out here last night. It's been somewhat humid the last couple of days. I think it could be something to do with that. So I've got my heat gun here, because one of the ways that you deal with this to help cure it is heat it up and then let it cool back down slowly. And it's been working. The areas that were really tacky have been becoming less tacky by heating it up and then letting it cure that way. It's kind of like forging paint, only we don't dip it in oil. We do have the other panel coming. I said I wanted another one of these. NZXT did send me one, so I can get rid of the glass panel on here because I don't want the glass at all. But today, if everything goes according to plan, we might get the side panels cut open, get the styrene greebles to start, get the vents, we'll call them. I was gonna put the vents on both the AIO side as well as the graphics card side. And then I need to cut out more of the grill, like this. I need to cut a big opening because I don't want it to go through mesh and then through that. I don't want to limit its airflow, although it probably would be fine. I think it'll just look better, obviously, if this were all wide open. All right, so now I'm gonna start greebling up this side a bit right here. I don't need, like, I feel like I could have a gap right there. We have a gap, right? Gaps are space-like.
You got a panel gap at like a Tesla.
And it's gonna be like this. This could be a side with some major damage, or if we have it ripped open, kind of like that picture of the Millennium Falcon, then I could use not necessarily this PCB. This is our dead RTX Titan. I could have like some of this behind it exposed, and then this would all be painted and stuff, obviously. But I think it's time now. Check this out. You can see now with the paint matching how much cooler that's gonna look. And then obviously with the weathering and stuff around it, because I'm gonna bring my airbrush into this. I wish these single pieces were big enough to cover the entire piece, but you know what? I do have some sheet metal. I wonder if I have a big enough piece of sheet metal that would allow me then to be able to really rip it open. Measuring. It's funny how that works. It's exactly 17 centimeters wide.
Excuse me, what? Centimeters? What is that?
You wanna really piss off the internet? I'll go 17 centimeters by 13.5 inches. So I feel like kind of riveting this along, like once it's on. That'd be neat. So what I need to do first now is I need to just basically cut out a big ass hole on this. And that is the official size. And I don't need to cut these like all the way to the outside. Since I'm making a faux panel with this, right? This is gonna be my new side panel. I just need this to hold down. I gotta keep reminding myself, the Rebels really, quite honestly, just had a random, you know, whatever they could scrounge type of military. So I gotta stop expecting it to be all like perfect and stuff. The size bit I'm using for this is 9/64. I didn't come up with it, I just live in it, okay?
Unfortunately, we all live in it.
And I think I'm gonna have to open up the backside. Jeez. Wow.
I think you made it through.
Thank God it's a workbench.
I think you're scaring him, Jay.
All right, so here's my blank canvas. Based on that picture we were looking at, the Millennium Falcon, even though it's not a Millennium Falcon, I want it to like be ripped out. It's a starting point. Rip. Rip. So you can see I've got one side of the ripped open, and I'm gonna have to smooth these out. Like, I'm gonna smooth them out with a Dremel, because they are like, you can hear that. But now you imagine the greebling behind it, right? It'll look pretty cool with stuff exposed back there, and then it will be all painted, obviously, too. I'm trying to figure out, too, how to break up some of this. It's still too smooth on this side, so we need to do some like paneling of some sort on here. And ideally there would have been paneling over the damage, and then that would be broken too, which I guess technically I still could. Let me see something here. I'm gonna try something. Might be a little much. Let it like sort of form itself to the hole that's there. So yeah, I could still do the styrene over the hole. Because I was like, if I did the styrene first and then tried to do this hole, that would have been really difficult. But now I know I can. All right, so the glue is like really stuck on there. Look at that. So that's good news. That means I can continue to do my greebling like I want, and I like the way it looks like multiple layers there. It looks kind of weird that some are bent out and some are bent in. And I probably want these bent out anyway because of the fact that the motherboard is right there. So it means we got some stuff to think about here too, because that sort of messes up my idea of being able to put the graphics card, PCB greeble back there, only because, you know what I could do, because it's open there? I could take a PCB or something, not necessarily that one, and cut the PCB so it's jagged, so it looks like the PCB got damaged, and then you can kind of see into where the computer is right there. But that's gonna look really good, I think, with the multiple layers like that. So what I wanna do now, which thickness was I using? Not that one. I wanna go ahead and add some more on here. I like this piece right here, and different thicknesses is fine too.
Now they really get to see how effective scoring is in practice.
Into that. Nice. Like that. It actually looks look at the damage I already hit it. This is the fuel. That is the fuel of the future! It's hot. It's got some crooked panels. They're not perfect. They're about as good as I expect a hodgepodge military would be. But I think the explosion hole, because we were pretending something exploded out of it essentially, whereas that one looked like lasers, like clean lasers, like an aerial battle one in. This was like explosive damage. So it's more ripped up and less melted and burned. It looks weird like this, although the burn effects look kind of neat. That's the actual burning fuel from the MAP gas. But we need to now put a coat of primer on this. And I hope this holds. This is just held on with Loctite sticky adhesive spray. This stuff right here, spray adhesive. By doing a cleaning of the metal with alcohol, there's no machining oils or anything on it. I hope it holds. It's holding pretty good. And then this right here is actually from an old water block, which we thought looked pretty neat. So we need to put a coat of primer on this now to make the colors at least all uniform so we can see how it's gonna start looking. You gotta remember too, when when this is done, I'm gonna have airbrushed the edges to make them darker inside, and this is gonna be all blacked out. But we also found out in terms of greebling, I might not be able to put anything behind there unless I cut a PCB and make it look damaged from the explosion, because if you take a look at the side this panel goes on, it lines up with the CPU and motherboard. So I can't go very deep with it because the stuff's right there. But it allows you to see into the computer now, which is kind of cool. So if I take this and if I were to like, say, cut a piece of a PCB and then it's like all jagged edged and stuff right there, then it looks pretty cool. So we got some choices to make. Do I want to be able to see in and see the RGB lighting of the block? Or do we want to sort of greeble it up? So this is just the first coat, keep that in mind, and there is a crooked panel in here that's bugging me, but whatever. That is how it looks when it's all uniform color. That primer dries so fast, but look at that. I obviously have a lot of detail to do on this. I might still do something up here, I'm not sure. I have some damage I have to fix right there. I forgot to take my Dremel because remember the idea is that a glancing blow went in and then exploded inside. So I've got to make a groove in this plastic right here. But you can see now with the imperfections and stuff by melting the top layers, look at how just heated and melted that looks. That is turning out. To think I was gonna actually give up on this case, but now it's definitely starting to look pretty damn Star Wars. I need to put a layer of the primer that I'm using on this wall, on this panel, on the others, because they're two different colors slightly, because this is not the same exact primer. Then we can imagine, right, some more things over here like this, another one over here like this. Now you're starting to see it come together. The funny thing is this is technically the back of the computer, right here, because that's where the power supply plug is. But I could switch it to the other side. Remember, we got another panel coming. So I could technically, if I wanted to switch to the front side, I could just cut the tabs and then put it over here. Then we'll have access to some stuff in there as well. But I can have any side I want be the front on this. In fact, having some wires come out on this side and all bundled out might look cool too. That's obviously the side that has all the fun stuff happening right there. So, all right, that's where we're gonna end this one. We'll be putting this one on hold for a little bit while we get some other videos and stuff done, but we will be coming back to it. I wanted you guys to see something today, and that's the way the damaged panel is turning out. I'm happy with it. I was not expecting the styrene on top by heating it and melting it like you got. So I just put these little slits in it with the scissors and then heated it with the torch and then it melted. And it really has a cool jagged look effect. And I think if you compare it to the reference photo that Phil was giving me of the Millennium Falcon at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, I think it looks very much alike. So I'm happy with the way this is turning out. All right, guys, thanks for your suggestions. So far, we've been able to kind of take a combination of all of those and get some pretty good ideas. And I can't wait to see how this one turns out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.